So, dear students, good morning once again to all. And today we are having with us in online mode Miss Neha Bajaj ma'am, Assistant Professor at GSFC University, Vadodara. And we already listened to her many a times in past sessions on English language teaching and other educational topics. So, without wasting much time, I hand over the session to you, ma'am. You can interact with them. You can ask the questions based on ELT and today's topic also. And you have all your time to conduct the session up to 11:30 or 12.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
the session is yours, ma'am. Please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would just love to say these students that okay, thank you so much. I appreciate your patience and the enthusiasm towards English language that you are coming here even on the public holiday, even 2 days before your examination. So all the best. Okay, for your examination and appreciate. Keep that thirst of knowledge with you always. That will help you out in you know all the way to the success of your life. Okay, so before I start anything, let me just start presenting my presentation. Okay, I guess you can see my presentation now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is
Yes,
Yes,
thank
visible.
you,
it's
dear.
there.
Thank you. Okay, so our today's topic is teaching of vocabulary. Now, tell me one thing, can we teach the vocabulary? That's the first question which arrives in our mind when we see this subject. What is your opinion about this? I want to know your opinion. You're going to be the future teachers and you're going to deal with the future of India. So, let me just ask you this question. Is it possible to teach the vocabulary? What do you think?
Ma'am,
Yeah, please.
what I think that we cannot teach them vocabulary, but we can make understand them to students
We
vocabulary.
Perfect. We can make them understand. This is what I wanted, from your side. The prompt reply. Thank you so much, dear. Can I know your name?
Sandeep.
Okay, Sandeep. Wonderful. So we started very well. Actually, I just got an exact answer what I wanted, that we cannot teach them. We can only mentor them, we can only guide them, we can only lead them. You remember the phrase in English that we can take the horse to the well, but we can't make the horse drink the water. That is up to the wish. So what I want to say this is, with this question, is that the vocabulary is a very subjective matter. It depends on person to person, and this is exactly an individual experience. So even if you have 20 children right now in your class, you all have a different levels and different phases of your vocabulary. Why? Because everyone's perception, everyone's concept, and everyone's notion about the vocabulary is different. And you use the vocabulary, you practice the vocabulary, you experience the vocabulary, and you explore the vocabulary in a very different way. So this was exactly the preface I wanted to just do it, and just keep it in your mind when you teach to the younger children. Guide them how to just take this vocabulary down their mind's dictionary. We call them, the mental lexical dictionary. Okay, so teach them how to just imbibe these kind of practices. Okay, you can't teach them direct vocabulary, you can teach them few of the techniques. Okay, okay, so you can see the blank thing, okay, in my thing. And now this is something, some image on my slide, on my presentation. Can you tell me what you mean by this, or what exactly comes in your mind when you see this picture?
To
Yeah,
enlighten students with knowledge.
Yes, wonderful. You are going to be the perfect ideal teacher, dear. Okay, so to enlighten the students with the perfect knowledge. Wonderful. Very nice. Let me add one more. Now you tell me, what comes in your mind? No one?
Ma'am, to
Where
prompt the learners
Yeah,
to
please,
say,
please, please, please. I want
to prompt.
everybody to participate.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Please, please, dear.
I think to prompt the learners to say something about
Yes,
what idea they have got.
wonderful. Okay, so you're prompting the people or prompting your students because you will be directly connected with your students. So you are actually just prompting the students to say something or to think about it, think about the ideas or notions they have it. Wonderful. Let me add one more. And now you tell me, what is this? What do you think about this? What comes in your mind? No one?
I think to allow the students to speak up whatever they have in their mind.
Wonderful. Very nice. To allow the speaker, like allow the students, in fact, to speak up whatever they have in the mind. Okay, so your mind is full of ideas, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you acknowledge that. Yeah. This one? No?
I think it is depicting like when the student gets the answer, like, oh yeah, I got the answer, something like that.
Wonderful. When you actually fetch them to the answers of their questions. Very good. Very good. This one?
Mm, finally connecting the knowledge with their understanding.
Wonderful, wonderful. Or you can just say that there are lots of meanings and lots of, vocabulary in your mind, and you're connecting to the idea. And when you speak out, you use that vocabulary outside. Wonderful, very nice. And what about this? I want someone to answer who have not answered me today. This is self-explanatory, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what exactly it is? Can I have the answer? Yes, somebody was telling me something.
yes, ma'am. Sandeep here, ma'am.
Yes, Sandeep, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. When you have so many ideas in your mind and you get the one perfect one, that is the these symbol shows.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is what actually we are going to talk today. Okay, we will start from the first one till the last one where right now we only have the one idea that we are only going to study about the vocabulary. Then we are going to just get the idea about the concept and the perceptions what we have it. Then we will connect our the brain. We will utilize our logicality or cognitive mind to the vocabulary, and we will identify how we can use the vocabulary. Then we will have the clarity in the mind. Okay, I'm sorry. Then we will have the clarity on the mind, and then we will connect our lexical dictionary, what we have it in our brain, to the mind. And now it is igniting this concept. Okay, so at last we will get different ideas about the idea of the vocabulary. Okay, so this is exactly the journey of our webinar today. Okay, David Wilkins once said that without grammar, very little can be conveyed, but without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. How true, isn't it? Do you identify that if you don't understand the grammar, or if you don't talk, or you don't even sentence structure, okay, with the grammar, you can still understand, okay, without the verb like, go up, come down, sit down, okay, you can still understand, the language, but without the vocabulary, it is quite difficult to understand. Now I have one more question for you, that, okay, how many words are there in the sentence? I'm going to actually just throw you one sentence and you have to identify and tell me how many words are there. To be or not to be? That is the question. How many words? Can anyone tell me? Is
10.
it 10 words? Okay, Sandeep said 10. Wonderful. Or 8 words?
8 words, ma'am. 8 words are there.
Why 8?
Because to be are repeated.
Yes, wonderful. 2 words have been repeated. This is what you're supposed to do it when you just use the vocabulary. That one vocabulary, what you have it, you can utilize it not only twice. This is the only one sample I'm giving you. But sometimes you have is, or you have has, or you have, so many other things, so many words, you can utilize it twice, thrice. Sometimes even like, the person who's writing like Aurobindo Ghosh, or the person who's using the vocabulary like Shashi Tharoor can be using the words in a many different way, the same words. Okay, so here you have to identify that you don't need exactly how many words you're going to speak in a sentence. Maybe if your sentence is having 32 words, it's not necessary that you're supposed to have 32 vocabulary. Keep this in mind. Within a very limited vocabulary, you can actually make a sentence with the 32 words. So what we have this concept, the myth in our mind, that if you want to make a bigger sentences, you need to have more vocabulary. And that sometimes creates the hesitation in speaking English. Does it happen to you? Do you
Yes,
think
ma'am.
as a teacher that I will not be able to speak? Yes, it happens, Sandeep. It was very nice. It happens to everyone. But you know why it happens? We have the misconception in our mind that fluency and spoken English is exactly the same. But I'm sorry to break that myth of yours. It is not the same. Okay. For example, if I'm going to just ask you something. Okay, let me just have something here. Okay. If you can see me, I'm asking you just one thing. Okay. Can you tell me 10 sentences about this? Do you see this? What is there in my mind? In my hand? I'm sorry. What is there in my hand? A sharpener. Okay. Can you tell me any 10 sentences about it? Is it tough?
A sharpener
asking
is
you a
of
simple
blue
one.
color.
Yes. A sharpener, nursery. Yes.
A sharpener is of blue color.
Yes. Very good. One sentence. Second.
It is used to sharpening the pencil.
Yes. Two.
It is a small sharpener.
Yes. Three. Okay.
It consists of a small blade.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else wants to try it out?
Child.
Okay.
A pencil is incomplete without sharpener.
Wonderful. Okay, we've reached to 5. Okay, tell me, Nizari. Do you feel that it is because you're supposed to express it in English you are feeling bad, or you are not able to just give me 10 sentences, or anyone in that case? I'm not pinpointing only one Nizari. I'm just telling about everyone. If I'm telling you to just tell something about this sharpener in Gujarati, then will you be able to talk? Gujarati માં બોલી શકશો sharpener વિશે? Even more tougher, isn't it? Hannah,
Yes.
the first thing is what you call it in Gujarati. I don't know.
Sancho.
Sancho. Okay, wonderful.
I-
Thanks for adding my vocabulary. Okay. See, what happens is here, why you're not able to give me even the answer in Gujarati is like, can I just come to the conclusion that means you're even Gujarati? Your Gujarati also is not good? No, not at all. From the morning to the night, you're speaking in Gujarati. So what was it that you were not able to tell? The object
May I
was such. Yeah, tell me, Nizari.
because nowadays we are in contact with English language more,
Yeah,
and specifically like
that's good.
sharpener. We have it's been a long time we have not been in touch and speaking about it in Gujarati.
Wonderful, very nice. Okay, so you don't have a practice. Correct? In short,
Yes.
any language you want to use it, you should have a practice. But why you could not tell this about thing is, you need some vocabulary, which is regarding this or about this object. Okay? And that we have never thought of it. Okay? And that is the reason, the thoughts does not come in the mind. And now breaking the myth of the fluency and the speaking English is spoken English is not exactly like, where you can just use the English like a popcorn. Okay. Fluency is something, it is a chain of thoughts. Some thought should come in your mind and then you'll be able to convert it into the sentence and tell it out. Okay. But if the thoughts does not come, the language doesn't matter. Whichever language you want to try it out, even in your mother tongue, you will not be able to do it. Why? Because the thoughts are not there. So the fluency is connected with the thoughts, not with the spoken fluencies. Okay, so when I can actually think about it, when I can actually bring that thoughts into the chain with the help of the sentences and with the help of the vocabulary, that will lead to the fluency, and that will need some kind of practice. Okay, so here you have to identify that with a very less vocabulary also you can speak wonderful English, okay, or any other language. So the next question arrives is, what is vocabulary? The simplest definition I can give you about the vocabulary is the collection of the words that an individual knows. Okay, tell me one thing. How many words you supposed to know? According to the British Council, it says that a person who needs to be fluent in English, the person used to know basically 2,500 words. Only 2,500 words. And I can bet you that if you take a pen and the paper right now and start writing, within 1 hour, you will have 5,000 words, which you know. And still we feel that our vocabulary is not good. Hannah, you know what the problem is? The practice. The another definition, what I can just tell you about the vocabulary is the word or the multi-word units. Now, what do you mean by multi-word units is like idioms or the phrasal verbs that have a common meaning. Okay, so exactly the word which has a common meaning. That means if I am picking up this, another sharpener. Okay, I am picking up this sharpener. Okay, everyone should have the one concept in their mind. if I'm picking up the mobile phone, everyone should have the same concept in your mind. Okay, everyone should have seen, everyone should have felt, and everyone should have experienced that particular thing once a while. Okay, see, for example, if I'm telling you the word jalebi, immediately you will have in your mind the circle yellow sugar syruped recipe, isn't it? But if I'm telling you the Thai sushi curry, not many of you can imagine. Why? Because you wouldn't have seen it. When I'm telling about jalebi, you have seen it, you have tasted it. Someone of yours, like, maybe the girls would have made it. Okay. And definitely everyone has seen it. Okay. So immediately from the dictionary of your mind, the word comes out. Okay. And it just, the image pops in your mind. And you can relate that what the other person says. Okay. So that is exactly one more definition of the vocabulary. Now, what is exactly the importance of the vocabulary? Does it important? Yes or no?
Yes, it is important, ma'am.
And why?
To enrich our language.
To enrich our language. Basically, you can't even speak the language without the vocabulary, correct? And
Yes,
then,
ma'am.
of course, you have to add into it to enrich the language. Wonderful. Very nice, Nursery. Anyone else wants to try? Why the vocabulary is important?
Actually,
Um,
ma'am,
Yeah, Nikunj, tell me.
without vocabulary, it is very hard to express ourselves what we want to communicate with the others. So one
Perfect.
should have the vocabulary.
Vocabulary. Very nice. Very nice. Sandeep wanted to say something.
Ma'am, I wanted to the same thing that Nikunj told.
Yes. Okay. And why we need to actually talk to someone? See, basically, why do we need it? That we have to understand. We need it, yes. But why we need it? If you know exactly, like, anything, I'm not only talking about the vocabulary, but anything, any object when you study, or any concept or any topic you study, you ask these kind of basic questions to yourself. Why do you need to study? What actually makes you study this? Why is it important? Okay. This is very important questions to ask yourself. Once you have the clarity in your mind, you will do it whatever it needs to, get it done. Okay. Yes. So I guess nobody wants to do it. Okay. Now let me just tell you that, let me just ask you one more question. Okay. Why do you need to communicate? Okay. Because all the three of you have told me that vocabulary is necessary to express yourself or to communicate yourself. Why do we need to communicate?
To express our thoughts, ideas, views.
Wonderful. To express our thoughts, ideas, views, opinions, prejudices, speculations, ethics, principles, emotions, and whatnot. Okay. Yes. But why do we need to express ourselves? Another question. I'm sorry if you are thinking that I'm asking you lots of questions.
No, ma'am, we are enjoying, ma'am.
This is only the way to just, like, make you involved in the presentation. Okay, so why do we need to express ourselves? Do we need to express ourselves? Can we not be, like, alone and just enjoy ourselves and don't express ourselves, and still we can just be happy? Can we?
No,
Ma'am,
humans are social animal, so
Yes, that's very
communicate. Like for a particular time, we can stay alone, but after some time, we'll definitely need someone to express our thoughts.
wonderful, wonderful, amazing. Yes, somebody else also wanted to say something.
in fact,
Anand, I
is
cannot
a
hear you.
partner to be listened. Ma'am, in fact,
Yeah.
animals also need okay someone to listen them. So we are human beings. So
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. So both of you are coming to the same point that, okay, we are social. I will not use the word animal because I don't like to call myself animal. So I will use the word entity. Okay, so we all are social entities. Why do we need to express ourselves? Because we are dependent on others. From the morning we get up till the night we sleep, even some dilemmas we have, some thoughts we have, some emotions we have, which we cannot express to others, we are still thinking in the middle of the night. Even that one is the conversation, that one is the communication. Okay, when you talk outside it is intercommunication, and when you talk inside it is intrapersonal communication. Okay, I guess you know this concept, a smallest concept. Okay, have you heard about, kala pani is punishment? Before it used to be there.
Yes, ma'am. Solitary imprisonment.
Solitary imprisonment. Wonderful, wonderful. And why it was there, Anand? Do you have any idea about it?
To break down people from mentally, psychologically.
Wonderful. To frustrate the person, to break that person emotionally, mentally, spiritually, cosmically. Because why? Why do we need to just do that? Because this is the kind of punishment what we need it. Okay. Even when you are in the prison and you see actually a kind of a stone or something, you can talk to the stone, you can talk to the thing, but how long? You can talk to yourself, but how long? You'll go mad after some time. You cannot just be alone. Okay, and to break the people, especially the Britishers, use this kind of thing because we cannot be socially alienated. So sometimes it happens in our life, or like, if you see somebody else's life, and if you have read lots of literature, you will identify that, okay, some of the characters goes through, like, lots of hardships, but still they don't want to come out of that situation. Why? They drag on in that situation. They don't want to come out because they are not very sure. Once they come out, they'll be alienated. They'll be totally alone, totally aloof. There will not be anybody by the side. And if it is like that, what will they do? Correct? So we are social animals, no entities. Okay, and we need to express ourselves. Okay, in whichever way. Okay. Lockdown is also kind of a, solitary imprisonment, but luckily we had a Google Baba with us. Luckily we had, mobiles and Android and iPad and I like, the cell phones with us. This technology has improved our life. And now we are actually, though we are together, we are still apart, even because of the technology. Okay, that is another, debate. Let's not go to the debate. But what I was telling you is we need a vocabulary to express ourselves because we are social entities and we need to actually just express ourselves in any other language. Okay, so let's see what is exactly the importance of learning the vocabulary. So the learning of the vocabulary is important part of the foreign learnings, foreign language learning. Okay, so especially if you are into, like, EFL, it is very, very important. Okay, because mother tongue vocabulary comes by default. So I'm not talking about the L1. I'm talking about L2 now. Okay, vocabulary is considered as central in the language teaching and is of the paramount importance to the language learner. Okay, when you have to teach, because all of you are going to be a teacher, when you teach you're supposed to have some more vocabulary. Okay, you have to identify if the person, if your students does not understand this word, you have to give them a synonym. You have to make your sentence the simplest one in order to make them understand. Okay, and that's why, vocabulary is the most important one. Now let's go to the types of the vocabulary, or you can see description of the vocabulary. Okay, there are exactly, two types of the vocabulary according to the Grunberg and Sykes. Okay, the first one is the active vocabulary and the second one is the passive vocabulary. When it comes to the active vocabulary is also known as productive vocabulary. Productive is into the use, where you can utilize it in a creative thinking or creative talking or even creative writing or creative speech. Okay, the skills under the active vocabulary comes is writing and speaking skills. See, we have LSRW, correct? You know that. All the 4 skills in the language, we have a listening skills, we have speaking skills, we have reading skill, and at last we have a writing skills. So where you can use this active vocabulary is, most probably in the writing and the speaking, because it is formal one. When it comes to the passive one, it is a receptive vocabulary. Receptive means you receive it, you get it, and you receive in some way, maybe through the hearing, through the listening, through through the pictures, through the images, through the audio things. However, okay. So, and which are the skills related to this is reading and listening. When you read, you get some kind of vocabulary. When you listen, you get some kind of vocabulary. Now we have some vocabulary skills. Okay, and there are basically 4 skills. The one is the productive skills, what we talk about it in the active vocabulary. Second is the receptive skills, we talk about in a passive skills, passive vocabulary. Socio-cultural skills and linguistic skills. Let's see one by one. Okay, how many of you have heard this nursery rhyme, Jack and Jill, or any other nursery rhymes? I mean to say, but I just took it one because, think. How many of you are used to of nursery rhyme? How many of you are surrounded by a small children even right now? So you still have the, the things, the rhymes fresh in your mind.
Me, ma'am.
Yeah, nursery. Wonderful. Okay. So what all nursery rhymes you must be knowing? Okay, twinkle twinkle, Humpty Dumpty, this, Itsy Bitsy Spider. Okay, lots of other things, correct? Baba,
Yes.
Black Sheep. Yes, wonderful. Little Miss Muffet, Pussycat, Pussycat. Okay, see why I have taken this vocabulary is this is the perfect example of the productive skill. See, the first thing the children gets used to of this song with the rhythm. What attracts the child is the music, okay, or the rhythm of the thing. When you start actually telling this in a rhythm, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Okay? See, it is in a rhythm. Okay, I guess you know this meter and the rhythm and those kind of thing. Okay, I'm not getting into too much of the thing, but the first thing that attracts the person or actually a small child is the tune or the rhythm. The second thing he will come to know that is unconsciously or even subconsciously, he gets to know that there are 2 children here we are talking about. One is Jack, one is Jill. So they get actually acquainted with these 2 names very easily. So the moment actually you say Jack, even in any other way, or if you are talking to a person whose name is Jack, okay, he can immediately relate to this because this is the first reference point in his mind. Went up the hill. What is it? Jill Hill. Rhyming words. Correct? I guess you know this meter and rhyming. Okay. To
Yes,
fetch a
ma'am.
pail of water. Wonderful. Thank you, Nursery. To fetch a pail of water. Now, unconsciously, we are putting the vocabulary in their mind. Okay, fetch, pail, water. They must be knowing only water in this sentence. When they start reading or they start reciting this poem, they will always be knowing very few words. Went up, yes. Fell down, yes. Crowd, maybe. Broke, yes. Cape, yes. Maybe after. But there are few more vocabularies here which they know unconsciously when they just speak this. For example, to fetch. What do you mean by to fetch? Just to get. Okay, a pail of water. What do you mean by pail of water? A bucket of water. Okay, then the question arrives in their mind and they keep on asking the elders around or the teachers around, and they will get the answer that okay, yes, fetch and pail. Unfortunately, our education system does not allow us to ask so many questions, and that is the reason when I was in US, actually, like I realized, and like, I have even talked to other teachers of the language, they always say that Indians do not know how to ask the questions. Why they came to this conclusion is, from the first standard, you know, the child has a little bit of curiosity and he keeps on asking the question. But when they ask the question to the parents might not have the time, the parents might not have the answer, or like, the parents might not have the mood to answer their questions or thing, and they don't give the answer properly. Okay. And then, when they are asking the teachers are totally suppressed with the syllabus, the end of the syllabus, finishing the completion of the syllabus and all that, and they don't entertain the child who asks the question. So a child who has, 10 questions in a senior KG, when it comes to the, second standard, he loses that and it comes 5. And then out of 5, he asks only one of them. And by the time he comes to the 5th standard, he understands that I don't have to ask any questions. I have to only grasp, or I have to only mug up in Indian system. I can just say that only have to by heart or mug up whatever the teacher says. Okay, this is what I want all of you, or future teachers, okay, to change this. Encourage your children to ask the question. Most important thing. Okay, so they learn this kind of, new vocabulary like fetch, tail, fell down, broke his crown. So crown actually is just like, it's a synonyms. Okay, crown exactly means the crown of the king, literally. But here, when it comes, we are talking about the crown, it is the head. Correct? So the same thing, look, he will learn that the one word has 2 meanings. Okay. Then Jill came tumbling after. Even Jill fell down and she tumbled, and she also came after. And then they had a fun tumbling, and they are happily, like, going back again to fetch the water. Correct? Why we talk about this is the perfect example of the productive skill. It follows the rhythm of the sentence, Jill and Hill. Okay, to choose the words that phrases in the harmony of the communicative intention. What was exactly the intention of the thing is to make you, entertain you, to make you learn the new language, to actually just make you happy with the music, and still to make you understand new words. Okay, to follow the rules of the words combinability. Now, what I mean by combinability is here. Okay, to fetch, fell down. Okay, after tumbling after. Okay, so all these people, like, went up. Okay, this is, a kind of a combination which we make 2 words put together and make a phrase. To choose the appropriate synonyms and antonyms, yes, when you just say crown, as I told you, like, you should identify what is exactly the synonyms, what is exactly the antonyms, fell down, went up. Okay, so to adjust the individual style of the speaker, yes. Okay, and whenever a person does it, as I told you, vocabulary is a very subjective matter. So whoever is reading it, whoever is reciting it, whoever is, like, teaching it, will have their own perception or their own meaning of this poem or nursery rhyme. Okay. The next one is animal sound chart. Okay, like you can identify that there is a cat, there is a dog, there's a cow, there's a horse, and lots of other animals. Okay, why did I actually choose this? When you see the cat and when you just remember the thing cat, and if someone asks how does the cat utter, or what noise or what sound cat makes, immediately you will remember in your mind. Correct? Meow. Dog, bow bow. Okay, piggy, oing oing. Okay, tiger, lion, you all have that thing in your mind. Okay, why it is there in your mind, and from where it is there in your mind? Do you remember that?
From the surrounding environment.
Yes, wonderful. But still, actually, we don't have the surrounding environment of the elephant, tiger, and the lion, and I'm happy for that, and the crocodile. In Vadodara, we have the crocodile running on the, Sayaji Road and, Kareli Bagh Road and those things near this convent of Jesus and Mary. Okay, but unfortunately, it should not be there, and we cannot get acquainted to this kind of wild animals, okay, but we have somewhere heard about them. We had this imagination, we had talked about it, we have experienced about it, we have seen this, we have, you know, seen in the movies or something, correct? So there is a reference point in our mind, okay, and that is the receptive skills. Where do we get the reference? From the audio visuals, from the images, from the pictures, from the movies, from the you know, a kind of podcast nowadays, you know, or you know, all other, like, you know, TV modes and serials and web series and all that, correct? So this is all a receptive skills, okay, so it relates to the sound or visual image of the word to its meaning. Okay, so we have a visual image, and when we talk about that word or when we utter that word, immediately it relates to the image. To recognize the word in oral or written form, when we just don't say that meow is the cat sound, we can just only say meow. You will still remember and you will still identify that what I'm talking about. Right? To identify the meaning of the word through the context. Yes. So what is the context? You know, when I went to the zoo, I saw some animals. Immediately the picture of the zoo comes in your mind. If you would have gone there, if you would have seen it in the movie, if you would have, you know, seen some pictures of the zoo in the pictures, like in the books and all that, you will immediately identify that context. If I say love, hate, jealousy, or some strong emotions, you might have gone through that experience, or you might have read it in the literature about it. You might have seen in the movies and all, so you can relate to it. That is the context. To differentiate the homonyms, again, like, you know, when we say the homonyms, we know that, okay. See, legal people use that this is not fair, okay, and literature people use that the Cleopatra was as fair as the sky, okay. So both the places the word fair, fair, is there, but both the places the meanings are different, okay. The same way we have so many other things, you know, accept, okay, leave, okay, so many other. Okay, now tell me, what is this?
Virus.
Which virus? Yes, necessary. Which virus?
Coronavirus.
Wonderful, Sandeep. Coronavirus. Okay, I bet before 3 years, or before actually 2020 January or even March. Okay, exactly, the March 20th was the day which was the last day of the, like, you know, thing, and then March 21st was the first day of the lockdown. Correct? Okay, so before that, did you know anything about Corona?
No.
No, ma'am.
Have you ever heard about the pandemic? There are so many
No.
other vocabularies which has come. Yes, wonderful. Okay, well, so many vocabularies which has come. When you think about Corona, what all you think right now? Tell me. What all the words comes in your mind when you think about Corona?
Lockdown.
Lockdown, the first thing. Yes.
Vaccine.
Immune
Vaccine,
system.
immune system, vaccine. Very nice, Anand. Mask, N95.
Social distance.
Yes.
Quarantine.
Social distancing, Nikunj. Okay, Anand says something.
Quarantine.
Quarantine. Yes. See, there are some vocabularies which we have never heard about it. We have never gone through. We never even thought that something like this happens. Okay, so many people have not thought about. Yes, wonderful. Very. Hello.
Yes, new normal.
New normal. Yes, wonderful. Pre-pandemic, past pandemic, new normal. Okay, technology, virtual platform, online classes, Google Meet, Zoom Meet. Okay, Microsoft Team Meet. We never even know anything about it. Presentation. Can I share my presentation? Correct? Okay. So many things we learned, and so many vocabulary we learned. Okay. What is exactly this? This is socio-cultural skills. The society around us has a kind of things, and with this experience and the culture of our society or the norms of the society, we learn so many vocabularies. Okay, see, for example, Gujaratis know Dandiya. we call it Garba, and when we go out of the Gujarat, it's called Dandiya, correct? So we know Dandiya, and we exactly know why the Navratri is celebrated, and like what we do, like the 9 full night we just keep ourselves awake and we be happy and we just talk about and we do the devotions of the Mata. Okay, so the thing, but can you imagine that again a person in China would know this? What is Dandiya?
No.
No. Why? Because it is not there in culture. It is not there in society. Correct? They do not know until unless they have heard about it, they have seen the pictures, they have seen the videos. Now, just because of the Google Baba, it is exactly like feasible. If they search in the Google Baba and just write down Dandiya, he will get lots of image and he will just get little bit of knowledge about the Dandiya. Okay, but one who has experienced it, it's totally different. Correct? The same way, like socio-cultural skills, okay, is the experienced one. Okay, why these kind of vocabulary? What do they do is they make you understand the idioms and the phraseological meanings. Okay, see, for example, do you have any code words in your groups? Okay, like
Absolutely.
Gabbar is back. Okay, not Akshay Kumar, but like we used to call our thing. I'm sorry to share this, but our principal used to be very thing, and when she used to come on the round, we used to just say that like we used to have this code word that okay, Gabbar is coming. Okay, so
Group
I'm sure,
identification. Group.
yes, group identification, and that will be known only by your group. Correct. See, your siblings, your cousins, your own close ones, you have some kind of code words or some kind of words which means specially something, and that is only for you, who like what exactly says, and only the people who are in your close circle or who knows that meaning, only they can understand. Correct? Okay, so to recognize everyday object or notions that describes the culture. Yes, every day we get up and we just make a tea, or we just pour the water into the tulsi. But is this the concept somewhere else outside in India? Hardly. When there is an Indian, there is always an India alive there. But still, some of the things are possible here only, and that can be understood only by the Indians, but not by others. Correct? So there are some objects, there are some notions, there are some things, there are some customs, there are some rituals which only one culture follows, not all the civilizations. The another one is like to identify the customs, rituals, manners, okay, even the manners. Do you remember that again? What the Chinese people do for telling hello? They bow down. Correct? Korean people bow down. Our Indian people say namaste. US and American people shake hands. And sometimes if they are very close, they start with professional hugs. Okay, but it is always a different manner from the different genre of the geographical areas. Okay, now tell me this, what do you
Ma'am,
understand with this? Yes, beta,
one more thing that I want
tell me, Anand.
is, as we were talking about Chinese people, so
Mhm.
we believe or we assume that Chinese people speak Chinese, but they are not. They are speaking Mandarin. So
Yes, yes, this is the biggest myth we have it. Okay, but Mandarin is a dialect of the Chinese. This is ancient dialect of the Chinese, but wonderful, very nice to just get that here. This is exactly the vocabulary, correct? And where did you get that from? This one. Okay, the literature what you read, the linguistics what you studied, the text speech what you did it, the communication what you had it with you and your YouTubes, or your subscribe channels, or the mental process which was going on. Correct? So what are this? When it comes to this thing, this picture, what do you get it?
I think these are the areas from which we get vocabulary, dictionary,
Wa-
translation.
Wonderful, wonderful. So these are the areas actually just which makes the vocabulary. So it is related to linguistic. This is called a linguistic skill. Now, what is a linguistic skill? This cannot be, taught again. As I told you, you have to guide your child to learn, to read the books, to read the literature, to go through the culture, to experience the socio cultures or the civilization where he stays, or whenever he travels outside, he should just go out. See, I suggest that, okay, when you go outside, you should just, like, go meet the local people, talk to their thing, even though when you don't understand the language, try to just use non-verbal communication, and try to understand their culture, their way of expression, their good things, even their foods, or their dressing. You're supposed to actually try out in this thing, correct? Okay. So why this linguistic skill is important? It is important to understand the rules of the word building and combinability. Okay, word building. Okay, see, it is, when you just go beyond again, let me just go back to the picture. Okay, when you talk about linguistics, it starts with language. Okay, when I say dictionary, it starts with diction plus ari becomes dictionary. Interpreter, interpret plus one who interprets, interpreter. Correct? International adds prefix and suffix. Okay, so inter is a prefix, national, nationality is the suffix. Okay, so when you add this kind of thing, there is a combinability, prefix or suffix. To recognize auxiliary and the functional words. Okay, what are the functional words? I guess you know that, correct? What are the functional words? What are the auxiliaries? Is it too tough?
May I, ma'am?
Please.
Can, could, may, might.
That is,
These.
yeah, that is modal auxiliaries. Yes, wonderful. Very nice. So what is exactly the auxiliary and what makes this modal auxiliary? Okay, I guess it is a little tougher for you. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah, please.
to form the sentence, it helps.
Yes, this is the helping verb. Auxiliary is the helping verb. See, for present tense, we have is MR. For the past tense, we have was and were. Okay. For the future tense, we have will and shall. Okay. That is auxiliaries. So form of to be, form of to have, and the form of to do. What we use in our vocabulary is called auxiliaries. And can, could, may, might, should be, supposed to be, possibly. Okay. All these things are modal auxiliaries. Okay. Great. Okay. And what is the functional words? Anyone? No? What all functions you do in a daytime? Yanan?
Words that okay helps sentence to function, like in order to.
Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So in order to, as, what, this, that, even run, speak, sleep, okay, sing, talk, listen. Okay, these are the functional word where you just do some kind of functions. Okay, so when you have to recognize this, you need linguistic skills. Okay, to identify the notion that are expressed in a different words in a different language. Yes, see, when we say bye, so we call it bye, goodbye or something. In other language, like in Gujarati, we say it avjo, fari mare. Okay, in English we have this bye, goodbye, see you, see ya. In French we call it ciao. Okay, see, like a thing. All these things are like different words in a different language, but actually speaking, you can identify that with the linguistic. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, is the principles of the vocabulary. What are the principles you're supposed to just go through when you talk about the vocabularies? So teach the vocabulary words before the new activities. As you're going to become a teacher and you're going to read out the lessons, or you're going to make the students read out the lessons, you have to identify that before. What are the new words, what are the hard words, or what are the words which will not be there in the vocabulary of the students. Okay, and mention that before, make them understand that before. In fact, give them some kind of examples, samples, stories or anecdotes of that word which will help them to understand when it is utilized in the sentences, in the language or the lesson what you are teaching. Okay. Emphasize both direct or indirect learning. Yes, indirect teaching. Okay. So what is exactly direct and indirect teaching? Direct teaching is what you just say directly, but indirect teaching is what the words you are using it indirectly by giving them the command or by giving them the orders. Okay. Teach how to use context appropriately. Yes, which context? Where are they? They are in India, they are in Gujarat, like, whatever the context, they are in the classroom. So what all the things are there in the classroom? Just let them know the vocabulary of the classroom. Sometimes what you can do is, if you are teaching the youngest, the children, students, you have to identify, the words which may be little tougher for them and label them out. Notice board. So write down, label the notice board and the thing. Okay. Present multiple exposures to the new vocabulary. Yes. Okay. When you just utilize and when you just decide that there is a new word, okay, which you are going to present to them. Okay. For example, Shashi Tharoor presented this defenestration. Okay. So what do you mean by defenestration? So defenestration is chucking you out or throwing you out. Okay. So you have to identify two new simplest version of that, and then utilize it in a proper one, and then you can just give that word a proper exposure so that the children can understand. Okay. Teach to use the dictionaries. This is the one, actually. I don't think even you all have that habit of going to the library and using the books or using the dictionaries, and that's the reason I think I can see that the generations who has grown up with the Google Baba, they do not know how to do the note making and note taking down properly. Okay. So you have to really just go through the book. Okay. The books are the saviors. You have to actually just go to the book, seriously. And the dictionary is the first friend. Okay. Give opportunity for the meticulous processing of the vocabulary. Yes. See, introducing a new word, just introducing is not enough. You have to utilize it. And as a teacher, you're supposed to know that once you make them introduce them to the new word, you have to utilize the same word 2 or 3 times in your sentences in next 2 or 3 days. Yes, that's the way you can also learn the vocabulary, as well as your students also can learn. And there is no other options of thing. Practice, or use the new word what you have learned. Okay. How you can do it as a teacher? What are the strategy you can utilize it to just make your students understand the new vocabulary, or guide them to just go to the new vocabulary? Okay. Repeat the exposure of the new word. Okay. Not only once, as I told you, you have to utilize it in next 2-3 days, every day, twice or thrice. Okay. The more exposed, the more stronger the understanding. Okay. The more your students are exposing to the vocabulary, they will even have a deeper understanding, and they will start using it, copying it, thing. And it provides more opportunity to solidify that word. Okay. That word will actually just be imbibed in their mind very strongly. Okay. Keyword method. Okay. Yes. Whenever you are starting any kind of a new lessons or new things, what you have to do is you have to introduce the hard words, as I told you before also. That's called a keywords. Okay. Once you utilize this, what will happen is, they will have a understanding first in their mind. And when the word comes again, they can relate to it. Yes, this is what the teacher told 5 minutes before or 10 minutes before. Okay. Word maps. Okay. Create a graphic organizer, like, how I guess everybody is like, aware about the mind mapping. So this is also the word mapping. What we did with the corona. Okay. We took the word corona, we took the picture corona, and we have just decided like what all the words which is related to it. Okay. So you can give them a simplest word like a time, or you can give them a simplest word like a classroom. And whatever the vocabulary they get it, whatever the words they can think about it, they can talk and they can relate to it. Okay. So utilize this word map. It is very, very important. Root analysis. Yes, you should identify, focus on the root what are the basics? Sometimes even the history, like as we know that, like we call it communication comes from the communis, from the Latin word. Okay, so every word has, you know, a little bit of history of itself. Okay, so focus on the history, like identify how it is changed. You know, sometimes, you know, you can make it a different word. Sometimes we make it antonyms or synonyms by utilizing the, you know, the prefix or suffixes, correct? So we says emotions, emotionless. We says proper, improper. Okay, so this kind of thing, you know, root analysis will help, you know, in a better understanding of the thing. Restructuring the reading material. See, sometimes what will happen is that the students do not read because they don't find it, you know, simpler. They find it difficult to understand, and like, you know, if they go through the one page or max to max two page, they leave the book. They don't read the book. Why? Because, and that's why the classics have not been read very often. Okay, why it happen is because they don't understand. When they don't understand, they don't comprehend. When they don't comprehend, they cannot interpret. When they cannot interpret, they cannot actually synthesizes the data. When they cannot synthesizes the data or information they are reading, they cannot categorize them. And once you cannot categorize anything, your cognitive mind does not accept it. And that's why it is the teacher's duty to make the things simpler. How you make the things simpler? Identify the synonyms, add some kind of footnotes, give some kind of sketches, or, you know, pictures, or show them some kind of images, or sometimes even some, you know, YouTube videos or something, correct? Yes, and the most important thing here is active involvement of all the students. I think you remember the constructivism, what we did it, okay? All the students supposed to be involved in all the activities, you know, give them all the kind of, you know, opportunities to give their illustrations, their anecdotes, you know, share their experience, okay? And then you can do it, okay? If you are dealing with the youngest learners, okay, then you have to keep these things in the mind that, okay, make it interesting, yes, keep it relevant. How can you make it interesting? You know, images thing, even your tone, storytelling, everything, keep it relevant. Okay, they should understand this. If you are telling about, you know, ancient things and mythologies of to the younger children, they might not be knowing so many things. Okay, set achievable goals. Okay, don't actually just put the aim so high. Okay, just let them be. Okay, they are children, and don't, you know, snatch away their childhood from there. Okay, teach words in a context, give them a context and say that with this context this word goes or this word does not go. Okay, what are the strategies you can utilize is, like, you know, label everything in the classroom, as I told you even before. Pre-teach the key vocabulary, that keywords what we planned. Okay, play vocabulary games. There are so many vocabulary games and all that, you know, you can play it. Okay, what are the steps of vocabulary teaching? Okay, first the teacher has to lead in. Okay, this is for the teachers. Okay, so teacher has to lead in, convey the meaning, repeat the word, verify whether the people can understand, the students have understood or no, use it again, use it, make a model sentences. Okay, so these are the actually techniques the teacher should use it. Okay, what are the other techniques which will help you out in these strategies is, you know, visual techniques. You can utilize films, you can utilize videos, you can utilize video games, you can utilize, you know, computer based learnings. You can even go for, you know, the classic games like crosswords, board games, card games, Scrabbles. Okay, some auditory like, you know, techniques are, you know, utilize the music, utilize the song, as we discuss about the rhymes. So I'm not actually just going through too much of detailing in that podcast. Now in your Gmail also, you know, Google Baba has added, you know, the proper podcast, and every day it is getting enhanced. So you can actually just enhance this podcast every time and read it, and I'm sorry, listen it properly. It is audio. Radio, nursery rhymes again, like, you know, thing. Verbal techniques, you can utilize the verbal techniques in a way that, okay, first define the word, identify, give them a simpler meaning, so synonyms. If you don't mean this, if you oppose the meaning, so antonyms. Connotation, exactly the situational things, you know, what exactly the words connection to that particular words, what we did it in a corona thing, correct? Cognates are like, you know, the logical connections. Okay, modern vocabularies. Yeah. So these are the things, what we talked about is the typical, the traditional vocabularies. But, do you want to know what is exactly the 21st century thing? This may not be in your syllabus right now. Whatever we have done, that was in your syllabus. But I want to add little more, because as you are going to be a teacher, and you should know exactly the trend. Okay, vocabulary exactly plays wonderful role in the virtual platform, especially in the social media and the modern language. Okay, so let's see how it is. Social media vocabulary. What are the social media vocabulary? WhatsApp, we have this, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, when you talk about WhatsApp, you know that, okay, attachment mein dal do, contact mein dal do, location mein dal do, share your locations, correct? Twitter also, think Instagram, Facebook, you know that tag me, trolling someone, okay, likes. Okay, all these are like, the new vocabularies. And even inside that, they use the word like, nowadays, this new word which has come, FOMO. Okay, like how it was lol, lol, laugh out loud. Okay, you have so many ASAP. Okay, so many things you still have, PM me, DM me. Okay, and now it is FOMO. Anyone knows FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Wonderful, Nikunj. Fear of missing out. This is the new trendy word. Okay, so this is again the vocabulary. This is how the vocabulary keeps evolving. Wonderful, wonderful, Nikunj. Okay, uh, again, like, so many other things they have used the, like, vocabulary for. I should actually just remind you about the advertising things. The advertising people, actually one of my close colleague always tells me that, he always respects this, the person who works in the advertisement, because they are the most cleverest person they have. Okay, because within 15 to 20 seconds they express everything, and they exactly pursue you to buy that particular product. Okay, and exactly woo you, within that 15 minutes. Okay, and how do they do that? So the modern vocabulary, they utilize it as even emotional connect. Okay, see, Amul, have you seen that? How many of you are the fan of Amul? I am the diehard fan of Amul. Have you seen this? Every time they come out the concept, and they identify it, and they bring it to the butter. Okay, see the thing picture here. India becomes vaccination. Okay, not vaccination, and is capital, and just they actually created a new word. Okay, vaccination. Okay, and with it, Amul shortened the arm. Okay, and they have both the things together. See here, one more. They exactly the political agenda, actually they exactly go and use the context so well. We talked about the concept, like, context. Okay, and you can utilize something like this in your class. Okay, she did it again. And see the spelling of did. It is like, didi. Again, enjoy, trin amul. Isn't it wonderful? Okay, say this one more advertisement. So these are the vocabularies, which is exactly the vocabularies, and it just takes us to the emotionals ups and rights. Okay, then these are the one-liners, they use it. Okay, McDonald, I'm loving it. Life's good, LG. Okay, because you're worth it, Laurel. Okay, just do it, Nike. Okay, your potential up, passion, Microsoft. Okay, and let me show you one video. If we have the time, actually, can I just play the video a little while? Just like it's 2 minutes, 1 minute, 40 seconds video.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, great. Okay, I want you to just like, go through the video and tell me what exactly you understood with the video. Let me just make it big. Just a second. Yeah. Okay, just a second. Okay, what did you understand with this? Something touched in your heart? Even though many of you are not women. Like, it just gets connected to you, to your mother, your sister, your wives, your girlfriends, your normal friends, your siblings, your cousins. Why is it? What is it that gets connected to us? It was the emotional connect, correct? In one advertisement, in just 1.40 seconds, okay, they have just expressed the every phase of the womanhood. And the best thing is the commentary which is going on with the pictures and with the women, which is, the different phases they are going through and all that. And the background music, the background song is totally into the contrast. It takes us into the, when they show it in, like, in the commentary, it exactly shows that how determined you are, how nice you are, how bold you are, how stronger you are, how perseverance you are, how intellectual you are. And at the background, they are showing, I don't know whether you have heard of this song before. This is a very old song. I think Rajni sir will actually, remember this song, okay, of the Razia Sultan, ए दिले नादा आरज़ू क्या है
Yes.
जुस्तजू क्या है. Yes, sir. Okay, so it is a total confusion, total dilemma. The song says she doesn't know what exactly she wants. She doesn't know where she's heading to. She doesn't know exactly what she wants to do in her life. And the advertisement commentary says something altogether different. This is called contrasting communication. And this is what actually they have utilized it. And I have read one documentary over it, and they says they have gone through 9,400 songs, and finally they finalized this song to put under this. Isn't it wonderful to just combine together all the vocabularies to put in the way the audience wants to know, and every girl will get connect to it. that mere baal meri jaan hai. Okay, and they have covered every phase of the womanhood, from the childhood to the, like, the girl on the swing, the girl going on the, job, the girl who's actually getting married, who's having actually a kind of family, and Suljawar is the actually always, like, she is trying to identify the solutions, those things, even at the last. And see the ending and the starting. The starting, she herself is becoming determined and cutting her hair. That means she has decided to be stronger, to be independent, to be on her own, and she has become more determined. And at the end, it is growing. So जो टूट के गिर रहे हैं, that was the starting. And जो अब वापस आ रहे हैं, the new hope of the life after the chemotherapy, when the lady gets back the hair. But such a wonderfully they utilize the vocabulary. So at the end of the day, I actually just want to say that, like, with this advertisement, that it is your vocabulary which makes you or breaks you. Wonderful. I guess everybody has become silent with this thing. Okay. So let me just, add on one more most important thing is, when we talk about the vocabulary, we forget about, the one kind of vocabulary which is a non-verbal vocabulary, which is most ignored and most important vocabulary. It is important, correct? Who all do not know about all these things? Tell me all these three things. Tom and Jerry, have you all gone through the Tom and Jerry? Who doesn't like Tom and Jerry? Tell me. Have you ever gone through the Tom and Jerry?
Yes,
In
ma'am.
fact, I am still in.
Yes, okay, Nikunj is still into it. Yes, even I am still into it. With my daughter, I keep like, looking at it, and Tom is like, Arvelin, and Jerry is always our smartest one, like Akbar and Birbal. Okay, the Birbal is always the smartest one. Okay, for us, Jerry is the smartest one here. Correct? Then Mr. Beans. Okay, how many of you have seen Mr. Beans and enjoyed Mr. Beans? Correct? Every
Yes, ma'am.
expression he has it. Okay. Yes, Sandeep, very nice, Nikunj. Okay, and of course, the classic person who started this is Charlie Chaplin. How he used to just, like, display himself. What is the common thing, most common thing about these three? They all are non-verbal. The new Tom and Jerry now has come up with the dialogues, but I think it is losing the charm. I am fond of the classic ones. Okay. All the three has one thing in them, like, in the common is they are non-verbal. They express with their expressions, body language, with the music at the background of the Tom and Jerry. Okay, the same thing, like, the expression of the thing, and Charlie Chaplin do all the body language, wonderful body language with the background music. So this is something seriously ignored when we normally talk about vocabulary. We cannot never ignore the nonverbal vocabulary. So it is in the teacher's hand that what kind of vocabulary you use and what kind of non-verbal vocabulary you use in your classrooms. The way you stand, the way you talk, the way you take a pause, the way you smile, the way you even walk out, the way you look at the person makes a difference, and a drastic difference. Utilize this vocabulary as often as the verbal vocabulary. Okay. Here again, the non-verbal vocabulary action speaks louder than the words. You know that, okay? What all the different vocabularies we have, and in the conclusion, I just want to say, the takeaway of the webinar today's thing is, vocabulary is the intrinsic part of all other skills. You cannot just utilize it, or you cannot just learn it, or you cannot just guide them to just have it all alone. When you use another skill, when you study another skills, like for example, reading skill, listening skill, writing skills, along with them, you can utilize it, you can imbibe it. There is no best practices in teaching vocabulary. Till now, there is not anyone who has come out that this is the best practice, and there is nothing, because it is subjective matter. So you have to look at the situation, the time, place, and the person, and identify how you have to utilize this, what exactly the strategy you're supposed to use it, what is exactly the approach you are actually using with your students, and how you are going to introduce your new words. It should be taught both directly and indirectly. We already talked about it. Okay, considering the age, culture, and environment. Yes, you have to consider who's the audience, what is the age of the audience, what is the culture of the audience, and what is the environment around it. Okay, should consider the background knowledge. Yes, if they know about it or they don't know about it. If they do not know about it, show them some videos, some images, make them ready mentally, and then do it. Read a lot often and have fun with the words. You should know it. You should read it to make the other people do it. And, don't read it for the sake of reading or for the, dutifulness that it is your responsibility to read it. No. You have fun with the reading. You have fun with the things, utilize the words as your friend. Okay. Identify that what word you're using too much. Everyone has one takya kalam. I have this, Okay, so everyone has one takya kalam, everyone who starts. And I think as a student, you will be identifying, the teacher's takya kalam, correct? That one teacher will start with this only. Listen, okay, particularly, okay, guys, please. Okay, so every teacher has a thing. Okay, identify those things, identify the things, and the more utilized word what you have is your best friend. The letter, lesser utilized, or the words which you are using later is it's something like normal colleagues, classmates. And the one word which you do not know is they are the strangers. So identify, have fun, talk to strangers sometimes, break the ice, talk to your classmates, have fun, go for puzzling, go for riddles, go for some kind of vocabulary games and those things and all that. And the most important thing what I can suggest you is use practice, practice, practice. That's all from my side. So that's all, sir. I think I'm done with it. Okay, any query, anything? Do you want me to explain anything? Do you have any questions, guys? I guess now you have understood.
So it was really wonderful, ma'am, and really very interactive also. Students, if you have any query or questions regarding this session, you can just ask right now, please. Nirjari, Anand, Nikunj, Sandeep. These four guys are very, very interactive.
Very nice, very nice. But
Yes.
next time when I come for the class, I want everyone to just talk.
Yes.
So guys, next time when you see that, okay, there is Sneha ma'am coming for that, prepare yourself to interact. There is no wrong question in my class. Okay, I just want you to come out, unmute yourself, be confident and talk.
Probably we will arrange such class in physical mode. I think we hope so.
That will be really wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. In
seriously.
the third semester or in the fourth semester, we can do it.
Wonderful. I would love to see these guys.
Yes.
No
students,
question?
please.
No, ma'am,
No
we don't
question.
have any questions. You explained it so nicely, ma'am.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Even I got to know a lot of things regarding teaching of vocabulary and how to teach something, how to teach something. That is important. To learn how to teach, that is important for the teachers, for the upcoming teachers. So students, this part of teaching of vocabulary is over now. And ma'am, I request you to share the PPT with the students so that
Sure,
they can have.
Can I send it to you, sir?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay.
I will forward it to the group of WhatsApp.
Sure, sir.
So on behalf of the institute, I thank you, ma'am. And in near future also we'll arrange such sessions on different topics of ELT.
Sure, sure.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
And
thank you, students, for being so patient. Yeah.
I'll send you the letters, the formality letters to you on your email ID.
Sure, sir. No worries,
Okay.
sir. Whenever you
Okay.
can.
Ma'am,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
ma'am,
dear. Yeah, dear.
okay, I have a question. Okay, the question is totally different from the vocabulary that we have learned. Okay,
Okay,
today.
Anand. Tell
I
me.
have a question to you, ma'am. What according to you is more important, fluency in language and accuracy in language?
Once you are fluent, accuracy will follow. Isn't it? And for the fluency, the practice is most important. So I would say the practice is most important. Not even accuracy, not even fluency.
But actually, accuracy, fluency doesn't mean speed in speaking a language.
That's what I just explained today, na?
Yes.
That it is actually the chain of thought which can get converted into the sentence structure. Okay. But the thing is, there should be thoughts in your mind. Because sometimes it happens that you get blank even in your mother tongue. The language in which you are the most comfortable one, even there you can go blank.
Yes,
Okay?
many times in Gujarati, in mother
Yes,
tongue also we are
definitely.
it is
That's what.
happening sometimes. Yes,
Yeah. So it's because of the lack of the thought chain. It's
exactly.
not because of the lack of the vocabulary or lack of the accuracy in the language.
So thinking ability is more important than any other language. We should think. We should
Yes.
apply the words constantly.
Correct. See, the thought process has to be improved. And that can be improved through the reading, through the observing, through the communication, through observing the people around, culture around, environment around, context around. So you have to be coherent and you have to be observant every time. And once you are observant, once you even read the mind of the people. Okay.
Exactly. Actually, engagement in learning activities. It is more
Wonderful.
important to be
Yes,
engaged with
yes.
something every day at every minute. To be engaged
True,
with. I
true.
actually I am too much engaged with so many activities.
Yes,
That's
I
why
know, sir.
I could
You are
learn
actually doing some kind of editing and all that also. I cannot imagine the person from literature and language can do such a nice editing.
it's a demand of time.
True. And nowadays, actually the teaching, when I started teaching, teaching is only the teaching. We have to
Yes,
just go interact with the students, come back, teach them, transfer our knowledge to, our minds to their minds. So I was enjoying it. But nowadays, we have become jack of all. We,
yes.
we have to know everything, you know. But somewhere down the line, it is the demand of the time and we have to just go with the flow. If we don't go, we are actually
That is
just
new
lag
normal.
behind.
Actually,
Yes.
because of Corona, but new normal is was already there before 2 3 years, because when the
Yes, true.
digitalization or technology increased, so new normal
No,
was there. And
actually, yeah, true, true. And
mm,
we could adopt it, we could accept it because we somewhere down the line we were mentally ready to accept it.
yes,
So we had a little bit of the reference in our mind, as in vocabulary we said that. So when we said directly virtual platform, that it was not totally direct. We knew it, that there is something like this is there. There is a Skype video. Okay, the video chats were there. The people were used to have the family chats or family groups together coming into the Skypes and all that. So they were knowing it, and now they are utilizing it in an educational purpose.
exactly. Actually, 4 to 5 students in our group are uh, uh, very eager to learn new things. Sandeep is there,
Wonderful.
Anand is there, Nirzari,
I could say that,
Nikunj.
and I
So many
remember
students are there.
Nizari's
Hmm,
voice, because last time I could not ask her name, and that's why
hmm.
today first thing I asked. Okay, and I just saw that. Okay, it is her name.
Yes.
Good. I am happy
Thank
to
you,
see
ma'am.
that keep these thirds alive. Okay, I could just say Nizari, Sandeep, Anand, and one more person who has asked me,
Nikunj,
Nikunj.
Nikunj.
Nikunj. Okay, yes. Guys, please keep these fire in your belly. This will
Exactly.
lead you in a longer way, and this will exactly help you in getting the success.
So with this, we thank you, ma'am, and I thank you to the students who participated in this session come webinar. We can say it was like webinar on teaching of vocabulary. So thank you, ma'am, once again on behalf of the institute, and all the students. I thank you all for participating. So we end this session here, ma'am.
Sure, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank